So 2.55 Shri Bhagavan Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan atman yevatmana tushtaha sthita prajnasta dochyate. Yes, please, Pravina Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare
The
Krishna.
blessed Lord said, O Partha, when a man gives up all varieties of sense desire which arise from mental concoction, and when his mind finds satisfaction in the self alone, then he is said to be in pure transcendental consciousness.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So how Lord Krishna begins to answer Arjuna's question, it will continue till, as I told you, end of the chapter, right? He says, Partha means Pritha is Kunti Devi, and Kunti Devi's son, Partha. Yada means when a person, Prajahati means gives up. Gives up what? What to give up? We have to give up something, right? Sarvan Kaman, all desires of sense gratification, once we give up, where does this arise from? Manogatan, mental concoction. It comes from there. Whatever desires come up from this mind, and once a person gives up, Prajahati gives up, then what happens? Atman yevatmana tushtaha means the purified mind certainly becomes tusht, means satisfied. It becomes completely satisfied, right? So where it becomes like, in Atmani, pure state, in the soul, it becomes content that time, right? So in the pure state, tada, then Krishna says tada, then he is called sthita prajnasta dochyate. He is called a man of who is Sthita Prajna, who is in 100% Krishna consciousness. So the one who gives up all the kama and sarvan, all kinds of sense gratification, which is there, which comes off from the mind, and he completely goes within himself, and he becomes Sthita Prajnasta. So see, this world is like a Mrig Krishna, they say, right? In scriptures they write like a mirage seen by the deer. The sun rays are reflecting on that hot desert, and then what happens? It creates an illusion of water for the deer. Deer starts saying, "Arey, pani hai wahan par, chalo yahan jate hain." And then if it thinks that there is water ahead of it, and what does it do? It starts running. Why? To quench its thirst, right? So the more it is running towards it, the more the mirage fades away. So its intellect is not that sharp, right? It's done, so it cannot recognize that it's running after illusion. So that unfortunate deer keeps chasing, and ultimately dies of exhaustion. Similarly, Maya, it is also creating illusion that there is happiness in this world, and we are running after that illusionary happiness overall. Maybe I will get happiness now. I will get happiness now. But no matter how much we will try, whatever we may do, it is nothing going to happen. Puranas, I have always, I think, told in 11 also that king wants to become emperor, emperor wants to become devata, devata wants to become Indra, the king of heaven, Indra wants to become Brahma, the secondary creator. Yet, the thirst for material enjoyment, it doesn't get satiated, right? Like, we have to become someone like Prahalad Maharaj, right? Once he gave up all the desires of sense desires, and he was completely in pure transcendental consciousness. The symptoms like sthita prajna, he was sthita prajna. He accepted all the miseries as mercy of Lord. Considering he did, I think, God, I deserve even more. Mere ko thoda hi diya. You have given me very little for whatever I must have done, past misdeeds I must have done. It's very easy for us to say, chalo, theek hai, give up all the desires, but not easy to apply in day-to-day life, right? But then according to Shastras, it is easy. How? See, desire is not an intrinsic property of the soul. Soul, actually, the basic main soul doesn't have this property of desire, right? Mind, intelligence, false ego. Then see, soul is covered by subtle body, mind, intelligence, ego, and then gross body, which is made up of 5 elements, right? So then, what is desire related to? Mind. So, okay, where is the mind? Part of subtle body, right? So, had it been the intrinsic property of the soul, then we cannot separate the desire from, like, we cannot separate, what do you call that? Heat from fire. We cannot, right? Then it would have happened like that. But the good thing, luckily, the good thing is that, it's like, you can say, oh, there is some dust on my shirt over here, on my kurta over here. I can just dust it off. I can always dust it off, right? So when one learns to turn the mind away from this, all the temptations that we are seeing, then slowly, slowly we are able to renounce, because we are moving towards bhakti, we are connecting to Krishna, and then we get the inner bliss and become transcendently situated like Prahlad Maharaj. So Krishna is stating in this verse that, um, transcendently situated person is one who gives up selfish desires, he says. What are the cravings? I want a TV, I want a car, I want a bungalow, I want this, I want the cravings of the senses. He gives up. Nothing is there. And he's satisfied, content. That person is transcendently situated. So desire on the mind can be removed also. It can be wiped. It is possible, says Shastras. So how to do this practically? We can't artificially remove it. And who is the main practical example right in front of us? Srila Prabhupada. He gives us a practical solution. He implemented on Western hippies who had all kinds of unwanted desires, right? And what did he do? He engaged them. He engaged them in Krishna conscious. Then automatically their sense desires, everything subsided. They moved away from drugs, from illicit relationships, from alcohol, and God knows what all they did. So if we are in Krishna consciousness, then it is a direct proof. We are seeing over here, we are not reading from Shastras or Upanishads. We have seen right in front of us. So a person who is in Krishna consciousness has special qualities, right? Then as we are into Krishna consciousness, is pulled up from that material desires. So this shloka speaks of a secret of internal happiness. How to achieve that internal happiness? Highly developed souls, they're always satisfied, you see. They're always content. बड़े शांत रहते हैं. How? Because they have realized they are the eternal servants of Krishna, right? They don't have these small, small petty desires. So first step we have to do is chant Maha Mantra, because we know this place is Dukkhalayam. Happiness is not there somewhere outside, right? It is within us. So we have to realize this. Only we can realize when we are in Krishna consciousness. So this section of Gita, it is giving us guidelines, giving us points, what all we need to follow, what all values we need to develop, what all mental attitudes we need to develop, what all spiritual practices we need to do, and then realize divinity in ourselves. So Lord is going to answer how this Sthita Prajna person, he speaks now. Let's see. Dukkeshvano sukeshu vigataspruha vitaragabhayakrodaha Sthitadhir Munirichyate. Who will read now? Dharni Mataji, would you like to read?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Sure, Mataji. One who is not disturbed in mind, even amidst the threefold miseries, or elated when there is happiness, and who is free from attachment, fear, and anger, is called a sage of steady mind. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Arjuna asked, right? Here asked Lord Krishna, oh Krishna, who is that self-realized soul? How does he walk? How does he stand? What are the symptoms? And, we need some role models. Otherwise, how will we get inspired? So there was a time when people were inspired by freedom fighters, right? They used to keep their calendars, pictures, posters every day at home, everywhere. But now people want to hang posters of Bollywood actors, Hollywood actors, and all that. So the ideals, the models, the role models, everybody has changed. So inspiration also has changed accordingly. That's why we need these self-realized saints like Srila Prabhupada who can inspire us. If we know how they reached there, what did they do, kya sadhana kiya tha, then we can also try it that way, right? So that's why Arjuna's question is very, very relevant, because it is going to help us. So Krishna has answered first question of Arjuna. What are the general symptoms of Sthita Prajna? So what are the symptoms of self-realized souls? Arjuna overall asked 16 sets of questions in the whole of Bhagavad Gita. But anyway, so Lord Krishna says, Dukkheshvano dvignamanaha. So a person who has attained the great state, he is in Krishna consciousness, he is in Samadhi, right? He is called Sthita Prajna. So what happens to him? So Dukkheshvano dvignamanaha means Anudvignamanaha means his mind is undisturbed. Kuch bhi ho jaye, it's undisturbed. In what all situations? In all the disturbing situations. I will tell you today, oh Mataji, your mobile somebody took and broke it. Will you be sitting peacefully? Oh, you will be agitated, running, temper is coming up, everything. Oh my God, that was so expensive. I recently bought it too. Yesterday I bought it and today it's gone. Oh my God. No, but his mind is undisturbed in all the situations. Dukkheshu. Dukkheshu means what? It's actually threefold miseries. So what are the threefold miseries that we face in this world is? Everybody knows, right? Adhyatmika klesha, Adi Bhautika klesha, and Adi Daivika klesha. We all know that. So a sage in steady mind and wisdom is called Sthitadhir. His mind is not disturbed. Dukh hoga to bhi disturbed nahi hai. His mind remains unperturbed. It's fine. God may have wanted it like that, right? So whatever he may be feeling on the physical plane also, even Jayapataka Maharaj, you can see physically how much he is going through, but he is still in that plane, spiritual level, right? So we get little bit of fever, headache, and little bit we will say, please don't talk to me, okay? I'm just having real headache. Please, I'll talk to you later. Like, we can't bear it also. Little suffering caused to body and mind. So that Adi, what I was telling, Adhyatmika klesha is like, physical problems that we get. We can't bear it anymore. So that is Adhyatmika. It is caused by our own body and mind. The second one is what? Sorrows caused by other living entities. Kisi ne mujhe kuch keh diya, or animals, or tigers, or snakes, or, any other living entity. That is Adi Bhautika klesha, right? We are getting sorrows from them. And those kleshas or those sorrows that are caused by Devi, Devata, cyclones, earthquakes, floods, and what all. That is Adi Devika. It is Devi Shakti. We can't do anything over that. We have no control over that, right? So now, when they face these miseries in this life, what does he say? This Sthiti Dir Muni, like Prahlad Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, they said, this is the mercy of the Lord. This is what God may be wanting me. Maybe I deserve a lot more. Maybe He has reduced it. Maybe I did a very bad karma in my past life. But God is so merciful. He's giving me only this little thing. And the first thing He says whenever He is getting dukkha, He will say, Sukheshu Vigata Spruha. Means when He is happy, what happens? What does He say? Again, He says the same thing. Mercy of Lord. Bhagwan ki anukampa. God's, blessings. Oh God, he will, in fact, he will say, I don't even deserve this, God. You have given me, but okay, but I will accept it. So he is not overexcited for being having some happiness in his life, not overly disturbed when he's having sorrow in his life. He's not proud of whatever he is having. He's very humble, simple. And when it comes to service to Krishna, Sthitadhir devotee, what does he do? He is free from all kinds of aversions, all kinds of attachment. What is that? Vita, Raga, Bhaya, Krodha. Vita means free. Free from what? Raga, attachment. Bhaya, fear. Krodha, anger. He's free. When it comes to anything, Sthitadhir devotee is free from all this. He is completely in service of Krishna. He is free from all aversions, all kinds of attachment. No bhaya. See, he doesn't put too much thought. Oh, kya hoga? What will happen if I do this? What will happen if I do that? He will just go ahead 100%, put in his 100% effort, and that is it. He says, God, right? Why fear? God also says, right? Why fear when I am here? So he is very free from inside. He is very calm, whatever may happen. And Krodha is Vita Raga, Vita Bhaya, Vita Krodha. So he doesn't become angry when sometimes, you put in a lot of hard work. You are carrying some stuff from the supermarket and it just, the whole packet rips off and everything falls down. And we get frustrated. Oh my God, ye abhi hona tha like this, but he is not disturbed. Even the efforts that he is putting goes waste. Then also, And it is somebody doesn't even recognize, oh, I have worked so hard. I did this project work, I presented, and the company CEO also liked it, but nobody was there to appreciate my work. No, he's not bothered. You recognize me, don't recognize me. I have put in 100% effort. Why? He says it's Lord's plan. It's Lord's plan that I am doing. I'm just an instrument, nimitta matram. That's it. I'm working for you, Lord. If I'm successful, man, good. If I'm unsuccessful, then it is all your plan. I'm just your servant. I'll put in 100% effort. Rest is up to you. Take care. He's Sthitidir Muni, right? As mentioned by Lord Krishna. He's different from ordinary Muni. How? Sthitidir Muni is in Krishna consciousness. He will not allow his mind to have any kind of material weaknesses. He is not going to go through this lust, anger, greed, envy, or whatever, right? So he has come to the conclusion, Krishna is Sarvam Iti. We have to be that shloka we remember, right? Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate, right? Vasudeva Sarvam Iti. Samahatma Sudurlabha, right? After many births of spiritual practice, one who is having knowledge surrenders to me, Krishna says. And but such a soul is very rare, he says, right? So question was, how does he speak? If we are put into any kind of disturbing circumstances, what will happen? All kinds of wonderful speech comes out of our mind from within, right? Whatever has been hidden for long, sari duniya bhar ki sari galiyan niklengi. Whatever anger we have, everything will come out that time only. I hope you have experienced or not. Everything will come onto our tongue. Everything is vomited out during disturbing situations, stressful times, right? So as long as everything is okay, we are sweet, we are very nice, everything is fine. The moment things go wrong, you should see the plight of that person. He goes out of his complete mind and he doesn't even realize what he's blabbering at that moment, right? But Sthitadhir Muni, he is different. And that is what is qualifying him as Sthitadhir Muni. In a nutshell, also poets once said, they after so much struggle, after so many times going through the cycle of this birth and death and countless other creatures, we must have become like a worm or insect or fish or tree or God knows. Finally, we have become a human being. And after all this, what we are doing? Running after material objects, neglecting the true, real purpose of life. We are not able to, go through the self-inquiry or chant the name of Lord, right? And we must try to. Krishna, Krishna, Mukunda, Janatana. Krishna, Govinda, Narayana, Hare. Achyutananda, Govinda, Madhava, Sachidananda, Narayana, Hare. So when person starts practicing Krishna consciousness, bhakti, he becomes serious in that. Of course, under the able guidance of the master. What happens? Contaminations get removed. Cheto Darpana Marjana cleanses. And one greatest quality will be we are depending on the Lord completely, whether it's suffering, happiness, or whatever, right? Completely. Bhagwan, tumhara hai. That's it. Beautiful, right? Gita is truly our life manual. That's why we should all definitely read. See how much Gita tells us how much important Bhagavad Gita is. That is why they use in the quote also, right? No other book but Bhagavad Gita. One day what happened when a gentleman was wearing a dhoti and a shawl and he was sitting and he was reciting Bhagavad Gita. And he was sitting on the seashore, in Chennai. At that time, a boy came to him and he said, do you still read such a book at this age of science, and you're reading this kind of a book? Look, at this moment, we have already reached the moon. But you're stuck in this Gita and this Ramayana and what all. So the gentleman asked that boy, so what do you know about Gita? God did not answer the question. He didn't know exactly what to say, but he said, what will happen after reading all that? I am a student of Vikram Sarabhai Research Institute, and I am a scientist. The Gita lessons are useless, he said. So gentleman laughed. And when he heard, of course, boy's words. Then at that same time, two huge cars came, and some black commandos, they came out of the car, one car, and one soldier opened the door of the car, okay? And the man dressed as a soldier. He opened and he saluted that person, that gentleman who was reciting Bhagavad Gita. And as the Bhagavad Gita, the person who recited Bhagavad Gita got into the car, and slowly he got into and he sat up. Boy was shocked. Oh my God, who is he? He must be some famous person. Who is he? He didn't know who to ask. So he asked him, who are you? Can you tell me who are you, sir? Gentleman very nicely said, I am Vikram Sarabhai. So the boy got 440-volt shock. He got electric shock. And do you know who this boy was? Dr. Abdul Kalam. And after that, Dr. Abdul Kalam, he read Bhagavad Gita, he read Ramayana, he read Mahabharata, he read other books. And then after reading all this, he promised that he will never eat meat for the rest of his life. And then he wrote this in his autobiography, Gita, a Science. You can see that, right? Such kind of great personality he was. So let's see now what Lord says about what happens to the person who remains unattached under all conditions. Yes, sarvatra nabhisneha tat prapya shubhashubham nabhinandati nadveshti tasya prajna pratisthita. Yes, please. Bindu Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
One who is unaffected by whatever good or evil he may obtain, neither praising it nor despising it, is firmly fixed in perfect knowledge. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So here, despise means not liking, okay? And praise means, So previous shloka was how a Sthita Prajna person means what Sthita Prajna means, perfect knowledge, having 100% knowledge, right? How that Sthita Prajna speaks now, Arjuna wants to know. So the ideas expressed in previous verses are repeated over here. Same thing is kind of repeated. Yes, sarvatra nabhisneha. One, sarvatra, everywhere. Anisneha means without any affection for this enlightened sage, this perfected one, this Sthita Prajna, who is having evenness in the mind, this personality is unaffected. Towards what? What is he unaffected towards? So, tat prapya shubha ashubham. He is unaffected from any kind of good or bad. Shubha ashubha. He is not bothered about it. He will not be affected by shubha or ashubha that he obtains. He does not rejoice, oh, it is so good, so auspicious whenever there is pleasure. Or he will not be averse when there is some kind of inauspicious pain. He has no attachment to any worldly object. Na abhinandati na dveshti. So abhinandati means when somebody is praising or when somebody is envying. Dveshti is when somebody is envying him also. He will not get disturbed. Like somebody criticizes us, we immediately feel so bad. And for 1 to 2 hours, we'll keep chewing over that thought. That why did he, please, if possible, can you all mute yourself, please? Thank you. Triveni Mataji, Hare Krishna. Yes, thank you. Hare Krishna, Triveni Mataji. Thank you. Yeah.
Mataji, my baby is crying.
Yeah, no problem, Mataji. If you can just mute yourself. Thank you. Hare Krishna. So, he is not bothered. He is not attached to anything. And when somebody is criticizing, we feel bad, but he is not bothered. It's not easy, huh? I'm telling you. You get criticized by...
Mataji, my baby is crying. I can't.
I will do it. Don't worry. Okay. Thank you. So he doesn't get disturbed, whether he is being praised or he is being criticized. When we are praised, we will think about it for 2 days or maybe more. When we are criticized, we will keep thinking forever only. Why did he have to say such a thing? But tasya prajna pratishtita. But he is always, such a person is firmly fixed in perfect knowledge. Just detach yourself from my life. I will go to the jungle. That is not told by Lord Krishna over here. Don't leave everything and go away because you want to become a Sthita Prajna person. No. We can directly apply in our life. What Lord Krishna is calling this as I told you before, dukkhalayam ashashvatam, right? This is full of misery. So, but we can't stop living. Can we stop living? Right? Sometimes, if we go, we get a lottery. Sometimes, sometimes we can get a lottery. Sometimes we can go bankrupt, right? Till we are breathing, we have to face ups and downs. Till we are breathing, last breath. Life is not a bed of roses. Who said? Poet rightly said, life is not a bed of roses. So just because thinking it's a miserable world and trying to have like aimless detachment, that is also not advised by Lord Krishna over here, because it's not going to lead us anywhere. That's called escapist attitude. You just don't want to face the problem, so you want to run away, right? Many people just commit suicide. They just want to run away from the problems of this world. No, you will again be born and again you have to face the same thing. Karmas, you have to face it sometime or the other. You can't just go away like that. So better to face it properly. So the detachment from outside world, it should be, we should be able to have the capacity to face all the challenges in life, whether it is also good challenges, bad challenges, right? And we have to have that balanced mind, both the situations. See, life by itself is a mixture of good and bad, right? You can't have all good. So Sthita Prajna person, he experiences both of them, good and bad, with equal detachment, because his focus is very clear. What is it? I am here to serve Krishna, right? I will breathe Krishna. My life is Krishna. I want to live with Krishna. Everything is Krishna. That's all, right? We have examples of Prahlad Maharaj, Mirabai, and so on, right? The live example, Srila Prabhupada. It's not that he left this material world and went and started in this jungle, right? So we must accept whatever comes our way without excitement, pain, or reward. So how to find this lasting happiness is seek the knowledge. First, we need to seek the knowledge. That can happen. We are reading Bhagavad Gita in Kali Yuga. The main is Namasmaranam, right? Holy name of the God. Keep taking the holy name of the Lord. The name of the Lord is even more powerful than the Lord himself, right? It's written. Ramayana has this beautiful instance in this regard. What happened was they were building that bridge, right? From that India to Sri Lanka, they were building that big bridge. So Lord Raman thought, if they're writing my name on these boulders and they are making them swim on the water, then what will be the result if I myself throw a stone in the water? I will also take a stone and throw it in the water. Thinking that, what did Lord Rama do? He took a stone and he threw it in the water. They were writing his name and throwing in the water and it was floating. And he just threw the stone in the water. What happened? The boulder sank into the water. So Hanumanji saw this and he smiled. Oh, Lord is doing that. And he went up to Lord. I'm quite puzzled, Hanuman. Why, your stones, you're writing that name and it is floating and my stone drowned inside. What happened? My Lord, your name is more powerful than you yourself. This is because we write your name and the stone, there is a connection. Because we are writing your name on the stone, so there is a connection between your name and the stone, right? There is a connection. So it is floating. This holds the bridge upright and it is preventing it from falling apart. But when you are taking the stone, it is coming in contact with you, right? And when you throw it away, the connection is lost. It has gone away from you. So it is drowning. The stone is no longer connected to you. That is the reason, my Lord, that the stones that you have thrown did not float, because the ones we have thrown has your name also on it and it is having the connection with you and it is floating. That you took the stone, you threw. So the connection got lost from you. That is the importance of God's name. So let us not only join our hands together, but fold our hands in front of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, and with lot of faith, we should always chant the divine name of the Lord, and maybe we can beg for his grace, for his mercy, and say, oh Krishna, please see, this is our current situation. This is what is going on in my life. Oh Krishna, please help me become more focused while, I'm chanting your name, because mind runs away like anything. Chanchalam hi manah Krishna. Arjuna only said that, right? If we can become focused and not get affected by anything that is happening around us, who knows? We can also become Sthita Prajna. So Lord Krishna is going to answer Arjuna's next question. What is this? How does he sit. But, let's see that. 2.57. Okay, so what have we understood first? In Samadhi, person is firmly fixed in perfect knowledge. He is unaffected by duality, whether it is good or evil, whether somebody is praising, not praising, it doesn't matter to him, right? So we should never let our guards down. Srila Prabhupada said that whenever there is a running competition, or say in Olympics or Asian Games, there is an athlete who is running and almost reached the finish point. He thinks that, oh, I'm going to win. And he lets his guard down and starts celebrating his victory first only. Then immediately he notices somebody from behind has raced past him, and he's finished the finish line also. What happened? The first athlete had started celebrating way too early and lost his position. Similarly, when we are in Krishna consciousness, we should not let our guards down. We have to be very careful. Otherwise, Maya can attack us anytime and we will fall down. Like Jayadratha in Mahabharata also celebrated too soon, right? He thought that, okay, now the sun is set, which Krishna did with his Sudarshan Chakra. And he thought sun is set and he came out very quickly. And Arjuna attacked and he died. So we have to be very careful. So let's see. Yada samharate chayam kurmunganiva sarvashah indriyani indriyarthebhyah tasya prajna pratisthita. Yes, Sujata Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. One who is able to withdraw his senses from sense objects as the tortoise draws its limbs within the shell is firmly fixed in perfect consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, excellent one, right? So far, Arjuna had asked 4 questions to Krishna. Krishna answered already 2 of them. First question was, what are the symptoms of Sthita Prajna, a person who is in complete consciousness? Second question was, how does he speak? Now we will understand the third one. How does a Sthita Prajna person sit? So we all understood by now that, right? Sthita means that somebody who can control his senses. So Krishna says, Yada samharite chayam. Yada samharite chayam means when he winds up. Winds up what? What to wind up? Indriyani means his senses. When he winds up his senses from indriya arthebhyah means sense objects. The moment he is winding up his senses from the sense objects, see, it is like, analogy that Lord Krishna has given. He is excellent at giving analogy. He is given of a kurma. Kurmonganiva sarvashaha. Like, what does he do? Yada samharate chayam kurmonganiva sarvashaha, he says. Like kurma, that is tortoise. Tortoise limbs are there, angani, his limbs are there, right? So, the way the tortoise pulls back its limbs into its shell, the moment it senses there is a danger or there is something that it doesn't want. Similarly, what happens? A Sthita Prajna person, the person who is in 100% Krishna consciousness, he also withdraws his senses when he sees that there is something that is not going to take him closer to Krishna. This thing is not going to take me closer to Krishna. I will not deal with it. That's it. He will detach himself. So how can we detach ourselves from the material world? Krishna says, see, you can say the best analogy you can say, right? So he is given the analogy by showing us about the tortoise. Tortoise can at any moment, it can wind up its senses and it can come out of it at any time up to the tortoise, right? So whenever there is a danger, it will protect itself by going into the shell. When the danger passes by, it again comes out and continues to go on its way. So this is the test of a yogi. Test of a yogi means whether he's able to control his senses. The best part is the yogi can control his senses according to his own plan, right? So there is a media, TV, hundreds of channels are coming now. It is alluring us. And the moment we start looking at the TV, we get hooked for a while, right? So what does this yogi do? He can withdraw himself whenever he wants to because he's on the path of Krishna consciousness. He has his own plan and he's ready with it. Whenever he is facing the danger of TV ads or serials or something, he knows when to withdraw himself. Sometimes we can, see an ad of a very high-end phone. It brings in us what? Desire. Ye bhi khareed lenge. But if you don't have the capacity to buy, what happens? The desire leads to frustration. Oh my God, I want it very badly. It doesn't leave our mind. What happens? We are trapped in Maya. But this one, Sthita Prajna yogis, they have a steady mind. They are not getting trapped in anything like that. Tasya prajna pratisthita, says Lord Krishna. Such a person is firmly fixed in Krishna consciousness, in perfect consciousness. How can we reach there? We can, by using our senses for Krishna conscious only, by following the do's and don'ts of the Shastras or given in the scriptures, especially for the neophytes who are very, very new into bhakti. Through this shloka, Arjuna is being asked by Lord Krishna, please use your senses in the service of the Lord instead of serving your senses for your own satisfaction, Krishna. Right? So let's see the two analogies over here that is given. Sthita Prajna man is fixed, right, in intelligence, pure. He withdraws his senses. By Srila Prabhupada has given two analogies. Senses have been compared like venomous snakes, serpents. Senses, see, senses might be very nice. They will help us to enjoy a lot. But then uncontrolled senses are like venomous serpents. We can't control. Because they can kill the opportunity to attain the ultimate perfection in life, which is Krishna consciousness, right? Senses can deviate us anywhere from whatever the main purpose is. That's why they have been compared to serpent. And Sthita Prajna is like a snake charmer. You know, a snake charmer, it's venomous snakes are there. But a snake charmer knows how to control those snakes, venomous snakes, right? Second analogy that Lord has given is tortoise. Many times you have noticed that whenever tortoise feels that it gets attacked, it immediately withdraws itself, right? Similarly, Sthita Prajna person also, when he sees there is a rubbish talk going on, gossip is going on, as to where and when and how he should withdraw his senses. Such a person uses his senses only for Krishna consciousness as nothing else. So through these analogies, Lord Krishna has explained the difference between, outer abstention and inner renunciation. Inside, you should be a renunciate. We may reject objects like TV or shopping or gossip, but the desire inside remains. Inside it remains. That inside thing only we need to remove. But the moment Supreme Lord is seen, even that inside desire can go away, can be lost. So we should be able to control at both physical body and the mental level. So Lord Krishna is giving us a thumb rule, how to control the senses. Let's see in the next shloka how we can control our senses. Vishaya avinivartante niraharasya dehinah rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. Yes, Akash Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Though the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, the taste for sense objects remain, but ceasing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste, he is fixed in consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Last shloka, what Sthita Prajna person is able to withdraw his senses, like a tortoise, right? From sense objects, like how tortoise can withdraw his limbs. But restraining the senses, controlling the senses is not easy. How to do that? Lord is telling in this shloka. So here what Lord Krishna is trying to tell us, Dehina. Dehina means the body. Niraharasya Dehina, the embodied soul. Embodied soul means what? What do we mean by embodied soul? Anyone knows? See, it means, yeah, anybody wants to tell?
Soul.
Yeah,
The
embodied
person?
soul.
The person who is in the body?
Yeah, correct. Very nice, Mataji. See, we are all spiritual souls, but when we are in this cage called body, then we are called embodied. So, Lord says, Vishya avinivartante niraharasya dehinah. This embodied soul, it may try to restrict the senses. But what happens? Rasavarjam rasopyasya. So, rasavarjam, the taste for sense object, it will remain. We are trying to control, but the taste remains in our mind. So, we are trying to restrict ourselves, but previously we must have tasted something that is still there. Like when we are sick, we restrain ourselves from eating many kinds of eatables, right? Because it's maybe not good for your health at that moment. but the taste remains there. Same way, doctor may tell a sugar patient or a diabetic person, don't eat sugary stuff, okay? It's not good for you. Don't eat a lot of gulab jamuns. Not good for you. Your sugar levels have gone high. Your reports shows. So now, before the sugar test, what happened? He used to love eating a lot of sweets every day after every single meal. But now, after reports have come, what happened? He has been asked not to. What to do? So he has to restrict himself. But the taste and the desire for it is very much there. So what happens? Mind says, no, 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 no sweets, no sweets, no sweets. But when suppose he goes to a function or a wedding or a meeting, or all kinds of sweets are all displayed over there, all gulab jamuns and all. Previously, he has tasted gulab jamun, and that impression is still there on the mind, right? So as soon as he sees wine, oh, no, 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 I'm not supposed to eat. Okay, it's not good for me, I know. But as he's looking at it, he's reminded of the taste that, and slowly he moves closer and closer and closer. And what happens? He takes maybe one, two, and ends up eating several of them. We all have experienced this type, right? So that's our state. We try our best to restrict ourselves. Many take a vow, no TV, no mobile, no this, no that. But the senses, they take over. We forget Krishna consciousness. We forget all lectures. We forget all classes, all videos, all everything, and then go ahead and do all kinds of nonsense things possible. And what else does a Sthita Prajna do? Rasopyasya. Rasopyasya nivartate means Sthita Prajna person is able to restrain his senses. He seizes the senses from going towards the sense objects. See, how he can? That's the question, right? How is the question we get in the mind. How he is able to seize? Well, param drishtva, by experiencing a higher taste. Such a person is fixed in Krishna consciousness. Great shloka for all of us because we are practicing bhakti, right? So, many times, senses don't allow us to go here and there. It pulls us back like a diseased person or person who was diagnosed with diabetes. So what to do? What is the solution? Permanent solution that we want, right? We are not interested in temporary ones. So answer in this shloka is param drishtva, develop higher taste. If the moment, see, you are eating sugar, but if I tell you that there is honey, it has best sweet in the world, but you have not tasted it. So you don't even know how it tastes. You have to open it and then taste it. Once you taste that higher taste, you will not go down to that lower taste of just eating one little bit of sugar, right? You will say honey is much sweeter. I want to go for honey. 8.4 million species are there. Human form is we have got. It is the only form where spiritual practice is possible and we can continue to grow and evolve, right? We have to start thinking, why did we come on to this? What is the purpose in life? We need to find the answers to all the questions that keep coming into our mind, right? We need to go to our scriptures. Even I keep looking here, I keep reading, trying to read scriptures, trying to get knowledge from here, they're reading, hearing lectures from various acharyas, right? Once we understand the goal, the world will look different and we will start valuing our human life. I will do one or two more and then I will stop. Is that okay if I take 10 more minutes? Everyone, do you have the time or shall I stop?
Yes, Mataji, continue.
Yes, Mataji,
Okay,
continue.
thank you so much.
Yeah.
So we can see that embodied soul, once he restricts itself from sense enjoyment, and the taste for sense objects always remains, right? So how can we lose that? By developing higher taste, and we can remain in fixed consciousness. As you can see in the picture, Vishwamitra, sage Vishwamitra, who had practiced penance for so many years, thousands and thousands of years, he got bewitched by Menaka. Who are we? The other day, my grandson was asking for a toy in the shop. And he was rattling and crying, and the toy was already there at home. Why should we buy another one? But then the kids, you can't leave them, and he was not letting go of the toy. So what we try to think, what does he like higher than that? The higher than that, we thought, okay, chocolates. Then we offered him, oh, we can buy that chocolate from another shop. And guess what? Immediately, all the tantrums disappeared. Everything disappeared. He left the toy over there. He was radiant, laughing, smiling, jumping all around, going. See what happened? Higher taste. Small things, but we know. So what's the solution for us? Develop higher taste, right? Serve Krishna, do seva, make prasadam, do temple seva, book distribution, kirtan. Lord will continue How does he sit and how does he control his senses? Yatato yapi kaunteya purushasya vipashtitaha indriyani pramathini haranti prasabham manaha. Hare Krishna. Sujata Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. The senses are so strong and impetuous, O Arjuna, that they forcibly carry away the mind even of a man of discrimination who is endeavoring to control them. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Lord is answering the third question, right? As to how does a Sthita Prajna person with steady mind, how does he sit? Now in this shloka, Lord Krishna is speaking something deeper. He says, Indriyani Pramathini. He says senses are very strong, Arjuna. Senses are very strong. And what do these senses do? Haranti prasabhammana. They literally kidnap. They literally take away the mind, you know. They kidnap the mind. They engage the mind in sense objects. Let's see TV. Let's see the cricket match. Let's see the serial. Let's go out. Let's do the shopping. Let's be in that shop only. Let's do gossip only. The mind. It's very easy, right? We may open WhatsApp to see some message, some important message we have to answer, right, in these days. So there may be another message by another friend, maybe a picture or a video. You say, okay, it's a 2-minute video. I can maybe see. That's all right. Then you go to that family member group. Here, send an audio forward. And then you say, okay, fine. What is there in it? Let me see. Go on and on and on and on. Before long, you will see that you have been on the phone for more than 2 hours. You have wasted 2 hours of your life, right? We are all in that lower rung. At least, you know, I can talk about myself that I'm in a very lower rung. But Lord says, to whom are the senses doing this? They are not doing. Lower people, common people, fine. It's very easy for Maya to do that, right? Here it is not only that senses are doing to people on the lower rung, but Lord says, Yatato yapi kaunteya purushasya vipashtita. Senses are taking away the minds of those, by force they are taking, even of the best of yogis like Vishwamitra, those who are even trying to control their senses. Who are these people? Purushasya vipashtita. These people have complete knowledge. They have the discriminatory power as to what is right, what is wrong, right? And so what have their minds happened? They are also haranti, taken away. Right? As I told you in this one, Vishwamitra, after thousands of years of penance, what happened? He could not control his senses. He fell down. He was allured by the sensual pleasure of Menaka. So what is our position in front of him, right? So Lord Krishna is pointing out here also that even those who have got so much of self-control and self-awareness, they find it difficult to control. So even Arjuna, oh God, he had razor sharp focus. He could shoot the eye of a bird during the archery contest, which was organized by his guru Dronacharya, right? He admits in chapter 6 of Bhagavad Gita, he says, Chanchalam himana Krishna, my mind is very flickering, it's turbulent, it's very strong and obstinate, he says, right? It's very difficult. I may be able to control the wind, he says, right? So Srila Prabhupada writes in his purport, he gives the example of Durvasa Muni. Maharaj Ambrisha also conquered this great yogi. Durvasa Muni was a great yogi, but you know, he fell down simply because Ambrish Maharaj's mind was completely engaged in Krishna consciousness, right? And Durvasa Muni's mind, Haranti Prasabhammana. We know about Yamunacharya, guru of Ramanujacharya, right? Then there was a story of Saubhari Muni. In this connection, Sukadev Goswami, he told about Saubhari Muni. He got agitated because of sensual agitation. He could go underwater and do meditation. You know that? He was that kind of a yogi. But he went under the water. He saw fishes mating. He fell from his yoga. He wanted to go and marry all the daughters of Raja Mandhata just for sexual pleasures. Later, he became very regretful. He said the moment he came into his senses, then he accepted the order of Vanaprastha. Then he did a lot of tapasya, austerities, then to attain perfection. So when a person is engaged in the service of the Lord, he gets a higher taste, param drishtva, right? What happens when he thinks about sense gratification? This is the mood, right? He goes completely down if he thinks about himself. If he thinks about higher taste, he goes up. So this is the mood. This is the solution. So when a person is engaged in bhakti, then naturally these things will happen. We have an example in present time, Srila Prabhupada. When he went to West, what was he doing? Teaching to hippies. and they were living a very low grade of life, alcoholics, drug addicts. Then a great devotee of the Lord, who Srila Prabhupada, he appeared and he became a great messenger, right? He transformed their lives by giving them a higher taste, param drishtva, the taste of Krishna. No rehab centers, right? Just Krishna center. That's the magic of bhakti. That's the magic of Shuddha Bhakti, Srila Prabhupada's touch, right? So, analogy given by Srila Prabhupada is of a hungry person. If he is given a delicious prasadam, what will he do? He'll keep eating. He will keep to his heart's content till he is completely full, maybe till here. It's fully satisfied. Now, if you give them another plate of delicious food, what will he say? What will he say? Oh no, thank you. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. I am done. Okay. As if he's completely detached and detached soul. That is what he will be doing. Let's move on to the next ones. We can see the symptoms of Sthita Prajna. There are the stories also, but I will not want to go deep into the stories. Senses are very strong. They carry our mind, and those who are trying to control them. But if we engage our mind in Krishna's service, then what happens? Mind can be controlled. So we can understand. We all know about Durvasa Rishi's story, Amrish Maharaj's story. We have done in, I think, level 1, and Vishwamitra's story we have done, right? So Lord Krishna will talk about a person who restrains his senses, but then again, it's not that easy. Let's see this last one, and then I will stop in 5 minutes. Tani sarvani samyamya yukta sita matparaha vashe yasendriyani tasya prajna pratisthita. Snigdha Mataji, please. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji. Cannot hear you. Neha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. One who restrains his senses, keeping them under full control, and fixes his consciousness upon me, is known as a man of steady intelligence. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So Lord Krishna is talking on a very important topic, controlling the senses from sense objects. Very important for us, right? He's still answering the same question. How does a Sthita Prajna sit? So yet another shloka. So he is saying, Tani Sarvani Sanyamva. That person who can control his senses. Vashehi Yasendriyani. He is able to control his senses. How? Yukta Asita. Yukta Asita Matparaha. By fixing or engaging his consciousness on the loving feet of Supreme Lord. Tasya Prajna Pratishtita. He is known as man of steady intelligence. First time Lord said Matparaha. Means Krishna is talking about bhakti over here. Matpara means in relationship with me, he is saying. Matpara, come to me. How can one become Matpara? We know the life of Maharaj Amrish, right? Great sage Durvasa Muni, he became unnecessarily angry out of pride. And he went out of his senses. He could not check his senses. And on the other hand, king, although he was not as powerful as Durvasa Muni, he was still a devotee of the Lord. He tolerated him. Whatever sage was doing, his injustices, everything, and ultimately he was victorious. So how can we become Matpara? How can we learn from Maharaj Amrish? What did he do? He engaged all his senses in Krishna's feet, right? There is a Canto 9. I would quickly like to read from Bhagavatam. He says, I'll just take 5 minutes of this. Savemana Krishna Pradara Vindayor Vamchansi Vaikunta Guna Anuvarnane Karau Harer Mandira Marjana Dishu Shrutim Chakarachyuta Satkathodaye Mukunda Lingale Darshine Drisho Tadbritya Gatri Sparshe Anga Sangamam Granam Chatatpada Saroja Saurabhe Shrimat Tulasya Rasanam Tadarpite Padau Hare Kshetra Padanusarpane Shiro Rishikesh Padabhivandane Kamam Chadasye Natu Kama Kamya Yathottama Shloka Jana Shraya Ratihi. You know, he put everything. If we read the translation of this, if you allow me one more minute, I'll read the translation from here. Maharaj Amrish always engaged his mind in meditating about lotus feet of Krishna. His words describing the glories of hand, his hands cleaning the temple, ears hearing the words about Krishna, engaging his eyes in seeing the deity, and places like Mathura Vendra, engaged in the sense of touch by touching the bodies of the Lord's devotees. engaged in smell by smelling fragrance of tulsi, and tongue in tasting Lord's prasada, his legs walking to holy places, head bowing before the Lord, desire in serving the Lord 24/7. Indeed, Maharaj Amrisha never desired about his sense craft. That is what is written in Bhagavatam over here. Also, the example of fire is also given. As blazing fire, it burns everything in the room. Lord Vishnu, who is situated in our heart, he will burn up. He will burn up all kinds of impurity of a yogi. If Lord Vishnu is situated in the heart of, who is situated in the heart of a sthita prajna. So every day we can offer this kind of prayer to Lord. Please engage me in your loving devotion. And once Krishna comes into our heart, and everything will be taken care of, right? Srila Prabhupada says in his purport, unless one is in Krishna consciousness, it is not possible to control the senses at all. So we'll see text 61. What about this one? Man of steady intelligence, he restrains his senses, keeps them under full control by constantly engaging all the senses in the service of Krishna. Right? So he becomes matpara, fixed consciousness upon Krishna. Srila Prabhupada was such exalted messenger of the Lord. He went through a lot in his life, but he still remained sthita prajna. You know, once a man came to Gautam Buddha, and he started abusing him for no reason. There was no reason. He kept on abusing him for 1 hour. He stopped because he was tired. So Lord Buddha said, please, disciples, go and give him something to drink, some water and some food so that he gets some energy. So man looked at Gautama. What? What are you? Are you made up of wood or stone? I have been abusing for such a long time. You're sitting still. You did not even object. You didn't even say a word. Hey, what did you do? What did I do to you that you're throwing such kinds of words at me? Gautam Buddha said, listen, if you give a gift to someone and that someone does not accept it, with whom will the gift remain? Naturally, it will remain with the person who is trying to give the gift, right? Similarly, he says, all you were trying to do was give it to me, the abuse, right? But I was not taking. That's my choice. So all the abuses are with you only. He was sthita prajna, enlightened person. It's not that an enlightened person is not mistreated. They are also mistreated. People can come and abuse them also, say what all kinds of things. But an enlightened person, the difference is that he has a different attitude. That's the difference. He is not dependent on external circumstances, right? We become agitated if somebody is abusing for 1 hour. You will be able to sit there? No. But Lord Buddha, that is sthita prajna, right? He is control of his own mind. So Lord says, Arjuna, who is controlling the mind and has subdued the senses, irrespective of whatever the outside situation may be, that person is considered to be sthita prajna. So I will stop over here. Take your leave. Vancha kalpatarubhyashta kripa sindhubhyaya pattanam pavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Okay, thank you so much, everyone.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
thank you so much for the wonderful session.
Thank
Hare
you,
Krishna.
Jaya Mataji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna,
Thank you.
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna Mataji.
Hare
Thank you.
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna Mataji. Thank you.
So see you all tomorrow.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
And
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.